Well, we move on to another topic. Now, 37 billion naira is currently trending on social media. And here's why. Well, the Senate president is quoted as saying the president had approved 37 billion naira for the renovation of the National Assembly. Well, he's quoted as saying, and this is what he is quoted as saying according to dailies, that we met the president and it was related to the condition of the complex. The president responded and said he was going to renovate the complex. The phase 1 renovation will commence the chambers and committee rooms in the White House. 37 billion naira was sourced and was given. It was put under the FCT and not the National Assembly. All we required is to have the the complex renovated. Goes on to say, when we are through with phase 1, we'll go to phase 2. It is not under the control of the National Assembly. The complex is a national asset and is for the FCDA to take care. Now, this statement attracted criticism online, with a lot of social media users wondering, why that much is being spent renovating when there are other pressing issues for them. So to shed more light on this, we're being joined by the Deputy Senate Chief Whip, Senator Sabi Abdullahi, who joins us via telephone. And in our Lagos studio, we have Mr. GT Ogunye. He is a legal practitioner. Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Thanks for inviting me.
Now, before I come to this, let's go to Senator Sabi Abdullahi and first ask him, I want to believe you have seen the reaction on social media from Nigerians. Would you like to clear the air on what is currently going on right now?
Well, thank you very much for having me. I would have actually loved to be in the studio, but due to residential duty, I have to talk to you through the phone. Having said this, permit me to say that, of course, we're in a democracy, and it's in the right of people to express their opinions and say what they want to say as they deem fit. But the facts remain that in a democracy, the legislature represents the passport, the face, and the actual soul of any democracy. And in my understanding, when we came on board in this particular republic in 1999, the structures and every other thing that was put in place, of course, came into the transition. And since that particular time to now, it is on record that not much has been done to upgrade, to renovate, and to continuously add value to that institution, even as the legislature continues to evolve in terms of what it requires to carry out its democratic function. So I think Nigerians need to ask the question, we are in a democracy, and if we are enjoying that democracy, then we must make it work. And the institutions that represent democracy must be given every support to perform its duty maximally. And I think the idea of rehabilitating that particular complex is something that is long overdue, because this is 20 years now. There was no major rehabilitation done to the structure, and it's been serving Nigerians from that particular period up to now. So for me, as far as I'm concerned, as much as I'm not an expert, but I believe those who are experts are the ones who were brought in to assess what people see from the outside is not what that building is alone. You need to go inside to understand what that building is before you can actually begin to think maybe what is being done is on the high side.
Senator Abdullahi, I think for a lot of people, the issue here is not the renovation. I mean, it's understandable that renovation needs to take place per time. But the amount, 37 billion naira, is what has given people a lot of concern. And a lot of people have, said this could be used to repair roads, for example. They allude to the fact that 48 billion naira was budgeted for education. So the major issue here is the amount, 37 billion naira. For you, don't you think that's a lot?
Well, I think for me, what I've just seen is that Nigerians do not value the democratic process we have. If they value democracy, I don't think they'll be saying what they're saying. Because if you are telling me in an economy, for example, where we're talking about trillions, we expect the National Assembly to carry out its duty. In most instances where something goes wrong, people point fingers at the National Assembly and say we're not doing our work. And at any rate, we are Nigerians. We have public institutions in this country that if you go and check how much is spent on them, just one agency, just one parastatal, you realize that a lot of money is being spent to put their structures in place. Now, this is one structure that is housing the entire representative of the people of this country. And some people are making this noise. I'm saying we need to really sit. Yes, for me.
Okay, we appear to be having difficulties listening to Senator Abdullahi, but we'll definitely get him back, especially because there are also questions about, the procurement process and, what exactly, how did this even come into being in the first place? A lot of questions. We'll take some of them from social media. We'll also get Mr. GT Ogunye to respond to, the legality, the morality, and perhaps other issues that may come up. But we'll take a quick break, and when we return, we'll go into this discussion further. To stay with us. So let's rejoin our guest in Lagos. Mr. GT Ogunye joins us. He's a legal practitioner. And via phone, we have the Deputy Senate Chief Whip, Senator Sabi Abdullahi. The issue for discussion is the 37 billion naira, which has been budgeted for the renovation of the National Assembly. Now, let's find out what Mr. GT thinks. Now, on social media, people are saying to renovate the White House, for example, it costs about $1.75 million. And for the Nigerian National Assembly, it's about $100 million. And a lot of people don't exactly understand why this is. So first, what is your take on this? Seeing what Senator Abdullahi has said and what Nigerians are saying, how do you make of it? Well, what do you make of it, rather?
What is being proposed is a sheer waste. It's squandermania. It's profligacy. It's irresponsibility. And I'm saying this with all sense of responsibility. Sometimes when we see the way our leaders carry on in all the three arms of government, we wonder whether they are Nigerians at all, or whether these are colonizers who are so out of touch with the ordinary people, with the yearnings and aspirations of our people. Because what is of concern to Nigerians do not seem to be their own priority. And so we wonder whether these are people who have taken hold of office to fight for the people and to defend the people's interests. Look, South Africa became deracialized in 1994. So let's perhaps look towards South Africa. What has that country spent since 1994? Because the Deputy Chief Whip was referenced in 1999, 20 years. It has not been renovated. So we need this humongous amount, 37 billion, to renovate it. And because they are legislators, that's the nerve center of governance, they are the representative of the people and all that. Arrogant bent, even in public presentation. So how much has been spent in that parliament in South Africa to renovate it since 1994? Because we talk about international best practices and comparative cost. How much has been spent in the last 20 years to renovate the House of Commons, where some parliamentarians, even backbenchers, even stand? Because it's a small place, iconic. I'm sure that if they were Nigerians, they would have demolished the place 10,000 times. Because they're Great Britain. How can Great Britain have this small parliament where people literally sit on top of one another to debate? This is wastefulness. This is not necessary. And I tell you, look, what we've been told now is just a metaphor for a national calamity. The other time, and the newspaper spoke about it, we told that the DPR headquarters in Abuja was going to be designed for a particular, and people are wondering, to design the DPR headquarters, you need that kind of money. And so on and so forth. So we're talking about the country. This Lagos-Ibadan expressway you are seeing that has been stalled for the past 12 years, 30 years, including when it wasn't done under the previous government, when they gave it out to somebody and then the person was stuck to it for 4 or 5 years, and 6 years didn't do anything before this administration came. The other time, the last National Assembly was shaving the head of the amount that was allocated to it, and they were giving 8 billion, 9 billion for the road. So what I'm saying, this is my submission. This is not our priority. The money is going to be wasted. You don't need that 37 billion.
But don't you think it's instructive that the Senate president said he spoke with the president and the president agreed with this? What does that tell you?
That tells me that the president is not getting the priorities of this country right on that subject. And I'm not making a ramified statement. On this issue, no president should sign on that you are going to renovate that building that we all know for 37 billion. What kind of renovation? Are they going to import gold from wherever to tile the floor? What do they want to do with 37 billion? I'm saying that this is a country where our infrastructure deficit is so huge. What we do every year is to just sprinkle the money that we have over all the roads in the country. And so some roads are being constructed for 10 years, some for 20, and so on and so forth. We're talking about federal government universities that have not had any hostel built in the last 20, 30 years. Ibadan. Now they are calling on private sector to come and be building hostels in government-owned university.
Okay,
if you go to some of the hostels, they are like a pigsty. Everywhere. And so some people are proposing, because they have the power of appropriation, to get 37 billion to renovate where they are meeting. I mean, it is...
Okay.
It's so infuriating.
I understand. Let's rejoin Senator Abdullahi and get some of his reactions to what the issues you have raised.
Thank you very much. Let me say that your guest should just take it easy. I don't think some of the language he's using is just uncivilized. You can make your criticism and make your point without having to abuse people.
Sir, I would disagree with you. Don't advise me on national television.
Gentlemen.
Don't advise me on national television.
Gentlemen, we need to...
Your point.
Gentlemen.
This is the arrogance of power I'm talking about. You are not in a position to talk down on me or lecture me.
Let's allow him
Make
land.
your own point.
Let's allow him land.
Don't talk on me.
You are just
Please.
one Nigerian with one vote, and you cannot be the one to decide the fate of Nigeria.
Okay, Senator Abdullahi.
Bigger than everybody.
Make your point.
Mr. Ogunye, Senator Abdullahi, on a final note, I'd just like you to respond to this on a final note. I understand this is a very heated conversation, but seeing the uproar and the different reactions from Nigerians, will the National Assembly be willing to review this amount?
Who are children of other people, and they are also Nigerians, and you cannot just come here and be making comments on them and making them appear very less important. The fact that they are politicians. Please, you can make your point.
Senator Abdullahi, the question I asked is, seeing the different reactions to this, is the National Assembly prepared to review this amount, perhaps to appease Nigerians?
You see, in all instances, when things like this come in, the people who make comments don't even know what subject matter is. You are talking about renovation. Have you gone there to even go and find out what exactly people are talking about? You just hear something and then boom, you are out and just calling people unprintable names. As far as I know, the National Assembly as a structure, that particular complex, is not built by anybody who is in that National Assembly. It's the property of FCDA. It's the property of Nigeria. And when we complain, we are the ones using the property every day, day in, day out. And we have right to complain about what we saw. And those who are saddled with the responsibility have gone in there, they've done their assessment, they've done exactly what they feel has to be done.
Senator Abdullahi, I'll need you to answer my question before we close. Senator Abdullahi, I just want to get your word. Is the National Assembly prepared, maybe, to review that amount to appease Nigerians?
And then if you are an expert, you can begin to interrogate that. But not to say simply because you've heard about this, then we are irresponsible people.
Senator Abdullahi, if you can hear me one more time, Senator Abdullahi, if you can hear me, I want to believe you can hear me. Is the National Assembly prepared to review this amount to appease Nigerians, seeing the reactions you're getting on social media?
Let me tell you one thing. The National Assembly is not the one that put it here. is the FCDA, is the responsibility of the FCDA. And
Right.
let me make it very clear that since I was in the 8th Assembly, even in the 8th Assembly, we were complaining that this National Assembly is due for renovation.
Right.
And we wouldn't want a situation where we are sitting and the dome, for example, will fall on our head. We were complaining, we couldn't do anything because it's not in our mandate to do that.
Right.
It is the mandate of the FCC and the FCDA.
Right.
And definitely, what I want to say is that, Mr. President, seeing that this night assembly is ready to work, was magnanimous in saying the FCDA should proceed to examine the complaints we are making. And that was what led to that particular budget.
Okay, Senator Abdullahi, we really have to go now, but I really appreciate you joining us to shed more light on this. We've been speaking with Senator Sabi Abdullahi. He's a Deputy Senate Chief Whip. He joins us via phone. Well, it's been a very, very interesting debate, but Mr. G.T. Ogunye, I understand it's an ongoing conversation, and we look forward to see how the National Assembly responds.
But you asked a question, and, you know, in his prefatory statement, he said that it's a democracy. Nigerians can say whatever they want. They have the right to say whatever they want. They are the one to decide. And I think that from that, you can imply whether they will be willing to beat down the cost or do what is needful.
We have to go, Mr. Ogunye, but I thank you so much for joining us on the program tonight. So that's our show for today, everyone. We'd like to thank you also for joining us. Remember, you can go to our YouTube page right now to rewatch this episode and other episodes. And don't forget to subscribe. Our channel is at Channels Television. To have a beautiful night, I am Kayode Okikiolu.